Welcome back to opinionsfree.com, a site where you can leave your opinion on this topic or a number of other topics. Up to you. Just click on, pick a topic, read it, watch the video, and leave your first name and your location if you want. So the topic is Bitcoin a fake? Is it a fake? You know, I have two positions in Bitcoin. I have one from last year, which is up about 90%, and I have one from earlier this year. It's 2024, by the way, which is up about 35%. It's gone down a bit this week. Not too worried about it, but I see the attraction, how easy it is for people to want to use Bitcoin and perhaps some other cryptos because of the profit potential. Now, granted, most of them are garbage, but you have a small group of cryptos that are, let's just say, valid, and even then we have to debate the validity of these as useful items. But Bitcoin is, for the most part, the granddaddy. It's the one that gets the most attention, and it's been made even more acceptable with the ETFs. But let's look at it this way: do you really think that Bitcoin was invented by some guy named Satoshi Nakamoto? I mean, that is such a romantic theory. I think it was created by a small group of people who are trying to get us to become used to using non-physical cash, to use digital cash. Now, I'm not talking about credit cards and bank cards. That is digital, but that's based on physical. Remove the physical altogether, you have solely digital cash. It becomes a lot easier to control what people do. Now, estimates are that just by switching from physical to digital cash, the governments could probably increase their tax revenues by about 22 to 23%, because of course you have a lot of people using cash to get around paying income taxes. And who blames them? Everything you do in life is taxed. It's gotten to the point where governments have given themselves the right to take before they give back, which is not what they were designed to do. But getting back on topic, if your kid has a lemonade stand, well, guess what? That income is going to be tracked. They can't just sell the lemonade for a toonie, maybe for a chicken egg or a chicken or something, yeah, but not a toonie or an eagle or anything, because that stuff will not exist. You will only be able to use digital cash. Bing, bing. There's now a record of that money being transferred from one account to another. And if the governments that are so cash-strapped because of the way they're running or ruining budgets decide to shift from individual cash collection to family household cash collection, every single penny that goes through is going to go into the pot, and that pot will be taxed as a lump sum rather than individuals. So if you just imagine you have someone in a house making $100,000, and you have a spouse and two working age kids who perhaps are not really incurring a lot of, are not making a lot of income. And then you have another household where you have four working age adults making $25,000 a piece. It's still $100,000, but you know what? The guy who makes $100,000 or the lady who makes $100,000 is going to be taxed at a higher rate than the four individuals who are making 25 each, because they're below the threshold where they may not even pay taxes. And that's some of the unevenness that we have. So if you shift from a individual tax to a household tax, show the dynamic of the whole tax structure, you can see that it's easier for the government then to take in more money. And since everything is going to be tracked, there's no way to use cash to hide a purchase or a sale. So forget about garage sales. Same thing. How can you have a garage sale unless you use a barter system? And I'm sure they'll figure out a way to tax that too. So we have this thing called Bitcoin, which is used to get us used to using digital funds for everything. It'll be that much easier for the government to say, well, let's go to the next step. We're going to go to our CBDC, which is going to be beneficial to you because we can put it right into your bank account. No more lining up for checks or going to the bank. Right into your bank account. But they can't do that and have a parallel system with Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin will have to be made illegal, where they'll say, give us the Bitcoin and we'll give you the equivalent of CBDC. Or Bitcoin has to be made as a parallel system that can work with CBDCs, but it will always be tracked, which then removes the whole benefit of having Bitcoin to begin with, because it was supposed to be apart from government intervention. So you see how quickly things can change. So once you go to digital cash, then you have absolutely no way to hide your your purchases, your transactions, which means the government now will have the ability to tax you for your behavior. You protest the wrong thing, you could get fined. We saw that happen in Ottawa. And I'm not saying I agree or disagree with the whole protest. I'm just saying, look at the results. And as well, if you are driving, let's say, a 4-cylinder car or a 6-cylinder car or an 8-cylinder car, but you don't go electric, you can be taxed every time you fill up based on the cylinders of your car, because you obviously are producing more greenhouse. And all of this stuff will happen underneath the umbrella of a safer cash that will then, do without or help reduce things like corruption and, well, it won't, and help reduce things like black market and help reduce things like tax evasion. And they might to a degree, but it also means that it will allow the government to collect more taxes. Now, if it's taxes lost through tax evasion, we're talking about small things like garage sales, it's not that important, but for large-scale tax evasion, yeah, I can see the benefit there. So going back to the initial question, was Bitcoin a fake? Was it basically just created to help us slowly move into the CBDC acceptance phase? Or was it actually created to give us a way of staying divested from the government, or rather keeping the government out of our finances? You have an opinion on that, please leave it, and please like this page so we can reach more people. Thanks again. Have a great day.